Welcome to First Wing, a Fourth Wing podcast.
I'm Brianna, and this is the start of my Onyx storm journey.
And I'm Kendra, an experienced dragon rider, here to help this second year. Just a quick note, this book contains explicit content, including swearing, sex, violence, and death, and so will this podcast, and these chapters do have death and, of course, violence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today we are discussing chapters 2 and 3 of Onyx Storm. Still so at the beginning of this.
Yep.
Last episode ended when a infantry cadet stumbles into Sawyer's sick chamber and says that they're all dead and the Venom have arrived in the castle. Or in the quadrant.
Yeah. They basically find out that the Venom are inside.
Yep, and they killed, I guess, all of them ended up being who? It was all of the...
Oh, he says they're all dead?
People?
No. So he's basically stumbling from the hallway into the actual healer's area, like hospital, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
All those people that were laying out on cots because they were overflow, they are all dead.
Yes, right. So
yeah.
all the
people that were like
in the hallway.
Yeah.
But they were the people who were hurt.
Yes,
but
exactly. From the war, yeah. That's right, because we are just after this war. This big fight, not war, whatever you want to call it.
2 weeks after this big battle, and they're still fighting Venom every day.
They're still finding them stuff. Although they had stopped finding them, they thought maybe they were all gone, and we found out they were not.
They were just coordinating to come break out Jack, I guess.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Why does anybody want Jack? Why does everyone want Jack? What is going on?
He must have intel. Like, they must not have all the information he has in his brain or something.
Yeah, but, like, it all started with Nolan and Varish wanting Jack. Like, you know what I mean? Like...
We might hate him, but I guess he's powerful.
He's something. Okay, so chapter 2 starts with the blurb on the top. The rarest of signets, those that rise once in a generation or century, have manifested concurrently with an equal twice in our records, both critical times in our history, but only once have the 6 most powerful walked the continent simultaneously. As fascinating as that spectacle must have been, I would rather not live to see it again.
Right. So, are they saying that the first 6 had, the same powers as Violet and Xaden do? Or just that they are just rare signets that have manifested concurrently? Or that those rare signets are specifically the rare signets of the 6?
It doesn't particularly say that.
I know.
Right. It's saying that the rarest of signets, those that rise only once in a generation,
sometimes happen together.
Yeah.
And
it's only happened twice that they have in records, critical times in history. Yeah.
Right.
And so this is obviously before. This is before the right now history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is referring to, the blurb in general.
Xaden and Violet both have rare signets.
Yeah. But that's not specifically saying that the 2 of the 6 also had their specific signets.
Yeah, it's not clear to me that it's specifically saying that, but it could be.
I know,
But only once have the 6 most powerful walked. It just says the rarest of signets.
Yeah, so there could be more than 6 rare signets, so it doesn't have to be only those 6.
And when it says the 6 most powerful, is it the 6 most powerful, right? 6 most powerful signets?
Yeah.
I would say that hers is definitely one of the most powerful.
Right.
And his might be as well. So it's possible those are 2 of the 6. It's very possible. We don't know hardly anything about these first 6.
I know. I would like to believe that that's what it's saying, but it isn't clear.
Yeah. And this is a study on signets by Major Dalton Cisneros. And this is the first time we've seen this book, I believe.
Maybe. Yeah. Very possibly.
Yeah. Okay. So we're thrown right into, like, that guy ran in saying they're here and she realizes it's the Venom, right?
Yeah.
So Taryn is yelling, they're within the walls, and she's like, I've already figured it out. So she gives, like, 2 of her alloy hilted daggers to Sawyer because he can't run off.
Yeah.
And basically Rhiannon orders Marin to protect Sawyer, Kat to help wherever you can, which is a very unfortunate order. What does that mean? Sawyer's like, I guess I'll stay here, which, yes, Sawyer. Rhiannon, Riddick, and Violet go running out the door because that's what they do.
Yes. Right into the action.
Yes, exactly. So basically the blankets on every overflow bed down the hallway have been thrown back, revealing desiccated bodies.
That's horrible.
Now, I would like to point out that on her way in, did you figure this out? On her way into the hospital.
Oh, did it say that they were all covered up?
So it says...
Oh, so that means that already happened before she walked in?
Hold on. Hold your horsies. It says, she throws open the door to the healer quadrant and I follow her in. And then, so they just walked into the healer quadrant.
Yeah.
And then it says, I glance down the cluttered tunnel, past the quietly sleeping patients dressed mostly in infantry blue, and spot a group of hooded scribes moving among them.
Oh, yeah, that is really weird. Why would they be doing that?
And she says, no doubt still working to get accurate accounts of the battle. But since we find out in this next chapter that they're hiding as scribes, she had to have just walked by the Venin.
Yes.
Past,
right?
Yeah, past all these quietly sleeping patients that are probably
right now
being drained.
Oh my god.
I know.
But I guess they really didn't want to get attention because you think that they would want Violet, but maybe they were like, don't engage. That's not our mission right now.
Yeah, they were just kind of like, I don't know, fueling up.
Yeah, to go break out Jack.
Yeah.
To break through Mira's ward.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Oh, it is crazy.
Anyways, okay, yeah, so back on chapter 2, we've gone out. There's the desiccated bodies. And she's like, how did this happen so fast? Because she right now does not know yet about the scribes. That it was literally happening when she walked by, possibly, right?
I think almost definitely.
Yeah, or right after she walked by, whatever.
Yeah.
She can't reach Xaden because his shields are up.
Super helpful.
Thanks. Anyways, she says frustrating, but fine. I'm perfectly capable of fighting on my own. Anyways, so they're now just trying to figure out where to go, right? So Rhiannon yells, check the bridge to two from Second Wing that came out too, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, eyes open, let's go. We gotta like keep an eye out. We don't know where they are, right? So they're quiet and quickly going down the hallway. And it says, a scribe flies out of the stairwell ahead, his robes billowing behind him as he runs toward us at full speed. And she immediately sees that and has the dagger ready to throw. And then when Rhiannon asks which way do they go, the scribe's hood falls back and reveals red-rimmed eyes, and she literally just lets go of her dagger and kills him.
Yeah.
So
right.
This Riddick has picked up that she already picked up something was wrong. So he says, how did you know?
Oh, that's what he's saying there. Because I'm like, what do you mean, how did she know? It just said that the hood fell back.
Yeah, no, I know. I actually had to read that a couple times. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it's how did you know that there was something wrong at that point?
Before they revealed it, yeah.
And she says the scribe would have run towards the archives.
Yeah.
Not towards the action. Anyways,
yeah,
so,
of course.
Yeah. And that's when this is what she says. That's how they fed without notice. They're dressed as scribes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then more are coming.
And it says, and see, she was walking with Imogen, and it says how many of them had Imogen and I seen on our walk to the infirmary without even realizing.
Yeah, so it definitely confirms basically that's who it was.
Right. Another two figures in Cream Roads are approaching. She's preparing to throw again, except for Rhiannon says, drop the hoods. They do. And then Violet's like, okay, get back to the archives and warn the others, and they turn and run.
Yeah.
So this was a little bit different. Again, they weren't running. They probably had no clue anything was happening. They were just coming in that direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
They hear some shouting. They know they have to go downstairs. And so Riddick's like, great. Down the stairwell to the torture chamber where an untold number of freshly fed dark wielders wait. Good times. Thanks for your little humor. So they're going down the stairs, and this is to where Jack's room is.
Yeah. There's this like really random line about her thinking about Aaron Norris, the builder of Bisgayeth. And I'm like, you're name dropping
someone we've never heard before.
Bisgayeth that we've never heard of before in the middle of a Venin attack. What?
I send up a silent thanks to Aaron Norris for building Bisgayeth with stone stairs instead of wooden ones. Yeah, right? That was, I read that again and I was like, what?
Yeah, I'm like, so this is either like so relevant to something else that has to be hidden in a Venin attack, or it's just flavor text when flavor text is really not needed right now.
Because she drops a full name there. Like, she could have just said the builder of Bisgayeth.
She could have just said, I'm thankful that these stones are these
are stone and not wood. Like,
yes.
I know.
But I'm like, okay.
Well, I guess that's something we can keep an eye on.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't wait to meet
Aaron Norris is great.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Like, think, what? This is so weird.
And I love how Taryn's like, pay attention to the present, not the past. I'm like, yes, Taryn, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm like, or is this supposed to be like, oh, it's Violet. She does this when she's nervous. She thinks of history. Like, That's why I'm like, is it just flavor text that's
Yeah.
like just
Just to remind
really
us that she
odd?
has that habit
This just
because,
like
yeah.
feels really out of place right now for some reason. I don't know, but
That
it is very weird.
it is very weird. So they do come across these venin. You can hear one of them yelling, "Stop playing with your kill and help us get this door open." So she's like, "Oh yeah, they've definitely come for Jack." I don't know why she thinks if they want a cell door open, they're definitely not on our side.
She's listening in and making
So
sure.
she's not sure if it's a venin down there. So she's saying that voice is obviously not on our side. Okay, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if she was thinking, oh, maybe there's venin on our side.
No, I don't think so. I think it was like, well, maybe the guards killed the
Maybe
venin
Xaden
already.
could join these venin who are on our side. No.
Like the good vampires.
Like the good, yeah. So Riddick asks how many guards are on Barlow, and Rhiannon says 2, and then there's a scream, and then Violet says, make that 1. Assuming, I mean, they still can't see anything, but that's fine. They finally get around the corner, and they can take a quick stock of the situation, and they see 2 dark wielders dressed in scribe robes, yanking at the unmoving door handle to Jack's cell, while a female pulls her ruby-hilted sword across the neck of a second lieutenant who's been pinned to the table of daggers. Okay. And it mentions here that her long silver braid swings free of her hood as her attention whips in our direction. And
yeah.
Red eyes.
And I just was thinking about silver again. More silver mentioned here.
Yeah, exactly. But she's there. She sees Violet. Oh, also mentions that she has a slightly faded tattoo on her forehead, right?
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Like this is
It's a very exact, detailed.
Like we're gonna see her another time.
Right.
Or that she's someone we already know, that someone else knows and is like, oh yeah, I remember that person with the silver braid and the tattoo. Like, I don't know. It was very specific.
Yeah, it's very specific. And then she smirks and disappears. She
like vanishes.
She vanishes.
Like poof.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's new.
Right. This is like almost like finding out that Lord Voldemort can fly.
Yeah.
Anyways.
My first thought was that she just moved so fast that Violet couldn't see it.
It does say the sudden breeze that rustles
Yeah.
a loosened strand, so maybe.
But then I was like, or am I reading too much Twilight where they disappear because they move too fast because they're really fast? But I'm like...
I mean, they have very vampire-esque, like, there's like,
yeah.
There's all these little signs of being a vampire type of thing.
Yeah, it does seem like that. And
they don't have to bite. They just have to, like, suck through their hands.
Yeah, and, like, the fact that it's, like, addictive and, like, once you get too far in, you can't actually seem to survive without wielding.
Yeah.
Like
once you turn a vampire, you can't unturn a vampire.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just
interesting.
It is. Interesting.
Yeah. And that's a good point. I was looking at that sudden breeze and wondering about it, but you're right. It could have been the sudden fast movement. Yeah.
Yeah. But either way, I'm like, I don't like that we're revealing new powers here.
Oh yeah, we don't need Venom being able to like appear and disappear all over the place.
I can't imagine that they're actually I can't imagine she's actually like teleporting.
Yeah.
I just can't. I'm like, oh, that's awful. I'll be so bad.
Yeah. Okay, so this female with a jeweled sword pivots and she flicks her wrist just in case it disappears. And then she dies with the blade lodged in her throat because Violet is cool.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of going on here. There's a little bit of like, fighting and maneuvers, and I'm not going to read them all.
But I will say that during this fight, again, he says the dark-haired Venin moves unnaturally fast, dodging the strikes.
Yeah.
As she's throwing more daggers. And I'm like, change tactics.
Oh, that's true, because that one tactic of killing that one Venin was enough.
Yes.
For this Venin.
Now you have to do something else. Like.
Yeah. I like how Riddick here like throws out his hand, palm down, and like puts out a whole thing of ice or whatever, and tells her to drop. So she's actually using the sliding of the ice to get out from underneath this person who was about to hit her with a mace or whatever. Yeah. Like it's kind of cool, like seeing how they work together.
It is.
And then one dark wielder yells, "Not the silver hair, we need her."
Yeah, so it's like, so they don't all know this?
Or maybe they just forgot, distracted. We're fighting. One of them noticed that she's got the silver hair. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she thinks to control Xaden, fuck that, I'll never be used against him again.
I'm like, that's not all they want you for. I don't think that's everything they want you for.
Yeah, she doesn't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So it looks like, Violet was trying to go and save the other person, the other guard that was still alive, but that's not going to happen. He's gone.
Yeah.
So they're going very fast. She's having a hard time. You know, she says here that she jerks her dagger to his throat and he studies me with sickening excitement in his red eyes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Ah, the lightning wielder, you're a long way from the sky, and we both know you can't kill me with that knife." Oh, because she doesn't have any more of her aloe daggers. Yeah. And so she sees Rhiannon sneaking up behind him, like she's like getting ready to strike, and then suddenly the shadows come.
Yep.
I think they would have gotten out just fine without Xaden.
I think they could have made it, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is easier, you know?
Much easier.
And I was like scared. I was worried that the Venom would reveal to her friends that he was also a Venom, but he ends up killing him fast enough.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And she feels the shadows, and she's the one that says, "I won't have to."
Yeah.
About killing him. Because she knows that Xaden's there.
Yeah.
Right? Because the shadows explode everywhere, devouring every speck of light. Of course, the shadows also caress her as they go by, because that's nice. And then there's some screams and thuds, and obviously the last Venons are dead.
Yeah.
And Xaden just strides into the center of the room, as calm, cool, and collected as always. Well, maybe. And he says, "Tell me something, Violence. Why is it always you?"
Yeah. Well, she just brings us back to Harry Potter. Why is it always you three?
Why is it always you three? It's so funny. Yeah, she is happy to see that there's no red anywhere in his eyes. So he didn't do anything other than just be Xaden at that moment.
At that moment.
Mm-hmm. So we have a little page break. It's an hour later. They've been debriefed with the commandant of the Writers' Quadrant. And they say, this is Colonel Pancheck, and they say he doesn't even seem fazed that they're working to rescue Barlow instead of going for the Wardstone. Oh, yeah. Garrick is saying this. But Rhiannon's like, well, maybe it's not the first attempt. It's not like we're getting briefed every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really helpful at all that they're not telling them things.
No, for sure. And so Xaden says something here that kind of seems to give me some information about Melgren's signet, which I didn't understand before. It says Melgren already knows. Oh, because someone asked if Pancheck will notify other leadership. Yeah. Melgren already knows there were only 2 of us down there, 2 relic wearers. Right. Okay, because that was a fight? Is that why? Like, yes. I don't feel like he just knows every little thing going on, but he knows because it was a fight.
Because it was a battle.
Can you imagine how many fights are going around all over? Just like people, just like someone gets drunk and beats someone else up. Like, is he just being distracted?
Fight with the Venom.
Okay, maybe. I'm so confused.
This is a part of like their actual war. Like, isn't his?
Yeah, it's part of the war. I mean, I'm just wondering though. I'm just like, I guess so. I guess because it's part of the war, it could just be that. Otherwise, it would just be very distracting to have every single stupid fight popping up in your head. Oh, man, the guy in the blue is going to win. Okay, next.
Yeah. I mean, that could be what's happening. But even though it was short, there was, like, the main enemy in their safe zone or whatever.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And who knows how good he's honed his signet so well at this point.
Yeah.
So he could even put filters on it, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, good. She whispers to Xaden because his shields aren't down. She whispers, "It's not always me." And then he scoffs and says it is.
Oh, yeah, but before that, we have this thing about how Barlow can't hear or see a thing outside that chamber unless someone opens the door. It's not like he's gathering new intel. From the looks of the stone he's drained within the cell, he'll be dead within the week. Right, so they're saying, 1, why do they want Barlow? It's not like he has new intel.
Right.
And 2, he's going to be dead within the week. Why aren't they just killing him then?
Right.
Like, they've locked him up so they can, like, they just want him to slowly die?
Record, maybe they're researching? I don't know.
Are they still doing some sort of research? But it's like, I don't know.
And it's interesting that it says, from the look of the stones, he's drained within the cell. So I guess
he's drained everything.
Because he's not as powerful as these other ones, he can't drain past a certain point.
Well, I think it's because they're in the wards, within the wards still.
Yeah.
Plus, Mira's put wards around him.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm just like, why aren't you killing him? Also, I doubt it. I doubt that he's actually going to be dead within the week. I'm sure something more exciting is going to happen than that.
Right. You're like, this is Jack.
Yeah, like, we're not going to just have him die in a cell. Like, with nothing happening. Yeah, at least we'll have a dramatic death, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, okay, so why aren't you guys just killing him? I don't understand why they're not just killing him.
I mean, I feel like this is a question. It's almost like the same question on, like, why did you apparently heal him? You know, like, what is going on with Jack?
What is going on with Jack?
Find out he's like the secret prince of no joking. What
He
is going
seems
on?
so important to both sides.
I know, it's so weird. It's funny because Riddick says here, you know, that whole Slay Him in the Darkness thing was badass, but I totally had him. Who is he talking about? Because in the fight, maybe Riddick was fighting a different Venom, because
I guess
in
so,
this
'cause it was
fight it was
Rhiannon.
Rhiannon that almost had
I
him.
know. I
Not
wondered
Riddick.
if that was a
But I don't
mistake.
know if I just missed Riddick's doing something, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, because Xaden says, you didn't. And then Riddick says, I was about to have him. And Xaden says, you weren't. Rude. And then Riddick's like, how can you possibly know that? And then Garrick says, because you were on one side of the room and your blade was on the other. And then Riddick's like, a problem I was in the middle of solving.
Oh, it's so funny.
I love it so much. Go, Riddick. Don't let them bully you.
So yeah, it really definitely was Rhiannon who was sneaking out on that one Venom.
Yeah. Very funny. Anyways, so Rhiannon is going to go check on the others, and then we hear this. She says, you headed to the Great Hall, and then Violet's like, yeah, nerves jumble in my stomach. Rhiannon says, you're ready, you've got this.
Yeah.
Wants to walk you over, and she's like, no, I'll find you afterwards. Right?
Yeah.
So, but the Xaden saying stay with him is a separate thing, because Garrick's like, is everything all right? And Xaden's like, it will be if you give us 5 minutes alone. Right? So he does want to talk about her about something, but she is on her way to this council.
Yes, yes.
Anyways, concern knits Garrick's brow as he glances at me, but he quickly smooths his expression when I nod. And then Zane's like, for fuck's sake, you trust her to babysit me at night, don't you? And then Garrick's like, don't act like I'm the reason you need to be supervised.
I love that they're all mad at Xaden.
I know, and like in such a way that's like so like, God, you're so annoying.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, do you know you turned into an enemy?
Yeah, no, they're like, we totally got your back, but you're stupid.
Yes. I love it too. I do love it how they're treating, they are treating him like he is still Xaden.
Yeah.
Yet also just totally giving them problems now that they have to think about and worry about, and they're not happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Garrick's like, okay, I'll be close by, because I love how they're all protecting Xaden from, I'm Violet from Xaden.
Yeah.
Anyways, and Xaden's like, I never realized how much I like alone time until we didn't have any.
Well, until he didn't have any himself either.
Yeah.
Like, he's never
being
left
followed
alone
all the time. I know. And she's like, I'm sorry. And then he says, don't be. He has every right to worry about leaving me alone with you. And then Violet says, I trust you. And then he's like, you shouldn't. I don't know. What do you think?
This is so Edward and Bella.
It is so Edward and Bella. Except for a little bit less annoying.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because there's other things going on as well.
Yeah.
This isn't
we
the whole
get distracted
story.
by the rest of everything going on that's important. Oh my goodness.
Um,
Don't get us wrong. We like Twilight.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Twilight references are going to be coming a lot in this next month.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so it's this thing, I trust you, you shouldn't, I'm a bad guy, no, you're not ever going to hurt me kind of thing. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Very familiar.
Very familiar. He says, I'm pretty fucking sure that the only reason he and Bodhi aren't sleeping at the foot of our bed is that they know I would have killed them for it before, let alone now. And then she's like, and she's thinking how they're not doing anything in the bed besides sleeping. So we basically are getting from that the fact that they're not having sex.
Yeah.
She brings up that they, have talked to her about rearranging sleeping arrangements. And he's like, maybe you should. And she's like, that's not happening. I told Imogen to go get fucked. Anyways, but she's like, as soon as you're cured, they'll stop hovering, right? Which,
yeah.
That's
true.
very positive thinking.
Yeah.
And then he goes, okay, you ready to meet with the scenarium? And she's like, yes. And don't change the subject. I will find a way to cure you. And then she talks him into letting her in his mind. And she says, which I would like to point out, I will find a way to cure you. This isn't really not something you should be saying out loud. I don't care. It could be, sure, you're talking about chicken pox or something like that, but people are going to get a little bit boring here.
Yeah.
Their conversation here is not very
actually this whole
secure
conversation
at all. Like, they're worried about me, or like, you shouldn't trust me, I should cure you, all this stuff. If I was listening, I'd be like, oh, Xaden's a Venom.
Yeah.
Especially after having Venom running around inside. Anyways, whatever.
Yeah, these are all great points.
Yeah, but that's
maybe
okay.
Maybe it wasn't particularly that the subject was going to get more tense. It was just that she was sick of him not letting her in.
Yeah, well, he lets her in here, and she says to him, you wielded your signet today behind the wards. And he says, I channeled from Segale. So interestingly, I guess what we're getting from here is for everybody to know that even though he's a Venom, he can still channel from his dragon and wield within the wards.
Yes.
That's what we're supposed to be understanding from this.
Those are good things to know.
Yeah.
And that Sigale hasn't completely cut off power.
She's not talking to him.
Yeah.
But he can still channel from her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He says flying is awkward as fuck.
Yeah, because they're still hunting venom together.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And then Violet's like, she'll come around, but he says, don't count on it. Oh, no. Taryn says, don't count.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, now we're going to have this argument about how he says I'm not whole, and she's like, you're whole. She doesn't want to believe that anything's changed with him. So then she says, do you still love me? And he's like, what kind of question is that? Do you still love me? And then he says, to her mind, I could reach the rank of Maven, lead armies of dark wielders against everyone we care for, and watch every vein in my body turn red as I channel all the power in the continent, and I would still love you. What I did doesn't change that. I'm not sure anything can.
This is so... Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's very cute. That's very cute.
It is very cute.
So what's the problem?
Well, the fact that he says that, he could lead a army of dark wielders against everyone we love, I mean, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'll still love you. Now, does he say, I wouldn't kill you? Or he just says, I still love you?
Yeah. I might be dead at my
But I'll still love you.
But I would still love you.
And she says, see, you're still you. Telling me you're capable of horrible things while still loving me is pretty much your idea of foreplay. That's such a great line.
That is a really funny line.
Such a great line. Ugh. He says, that should scare the shit out of you, Violet. And she says, it doesn't. Nothing about you scares me. I won't run, Xaden. And then he says, with his shields up, he says, like through her mind, with my shields up, I didn't know you were in the interrogation chamber until I was halfway down the stairs. And then she says, how did you know to come help? And he says, I sense them the same way they sense me, which scares the shit out of her.
And I was like, oh, good. So I was right. Like, I called it.
You did.
This is how he's finding the venom. And then he literally says that exact thing.
Yep. That's how I know I've changed. How Garrick and I have managed to slay more than a dozen of them this week. I can feel them calling to me. So not just feel them, he can feel them calling to him. Whatever that means. It could be like in the blood, like through the what did you call the mind? The hive mind. I don't know what it.
Like,
but I can. Yeah.
Is that what calling is, or is
it that
like...
kind? Is it just a hum?
Yeah.
Just like I can feel the source pulsing beneath my feet with its incomparable power because I'm one of them. And then he's like, scared yet?
Yeah.
Obviously she isn't. Come on, Xaden, give it up. Chapter 3.
Good to know.
Yes. So this blurb is an unsent correspondent of General Lilith Sorrengail.
Right, and this is the second one we found. Is this what her journal is comprised of?
I am thinking so, because these are obviously written to him after he died. Like, she knows he's dead. She's writing these things like, like talking to the gravesite, except for they have no gravesite, so she writes a letter instead.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this must be her journal. So this just furthers the whole thing about Violet having read all of this, even if it doesn't mean she's read it by the time the chapter comes. Because that's when we read the last book, there was these chapter blurbs about Venom when we knew she hadn't read any Venom books yet. But then later, it was like she got her hands on every Venom book she could find. So,
yeah. Yeah, no, I like it. You've convinced me. Okay, good. So the blurb on the top that's by her mom. It says, sometimes I worry about Violet. She has your sharp wit, quick mind, and steadfast heart paired with my bullheaded tenacity. When she finally and truly gives that heart, I fear it will overrule the other gifts you've given her, and logic will cede its voice to love. And if her first 2 liaisons are any indication of what we might expect, God's help her, my love. I'm afraid our daughter has atrocious taste in men. So now it's like, who are these first 2 liaisons?
This is so funny.
Yeah.
I really do want to know who the first 2 were now.
This is like spilling some tea,
Yeah.
Tell us, Violet. Tell us what this means.
Oh, it's so funny.
It is. Okay, so she's still in the middle of this conversation. She has come to this realization that Xaden can sense them. It's like, she's like, but just because he can sense them doesn't mean he gave up part of his soul, right? It's there in his eyes, watching me, waiting for me to reject him, right? So she is trying to talk herself out of that, or
being
whatever.
Scared.
Yeah. And then, of course, she says, like I said, she's not scared of him. Okay. And he says, you will be. And then Garrick's like, your 5 minutes are up, and Violet has a meeting to get to. But Xaden's expression shifts into something dangerous as he glares at his best friend. It's like,
I think that's just normal Xaden, though.
Rude. Garrick's like, she told you we think you should sleep somewhere else, right? And Zane's like, she did. And I'll tell you the same thing she said to Imogen, get fucked. And Garrick's like, figured. And then he looks at Violet with a pleading look, and she just smiles. And then he's like, thought you'd at least be logical, Violet. And she's like, me? You're the ones acting based on feelings with no evidence whatsoever. My decision to trust him is based purely on the facts of our proven history. Yeah, but Xaden's like, as much as I appreciate the concern, you try to dictate the occupants of Violet's bed again, and we're gonna have problems.
Which is funny, because he was like, maybe you should.
I know. At the same time, he's got to be the bad boy. So they've crossed into the administration building, which I forgot there was even one. Like, I don't think we ever talk about the administration building, but that's where her mom worked, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Wait, no, but that's just a building.
Well, it's not
that has all the other quadrants in it. It's just like the one part of it, right? Because it's kind of like that castle kind of has 4 parts, and then separately the other side of the castle that's just the writer's quadrant also has 4 parts.
Oh, so one part of that is the admin.
Yeah,
so
but
they're
now
already
they've
there.
left the healer's quadrant and
now they're going
into the administration building.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting from this, if I remember the map correctly of Pisgaiath, which is annoying that they don't have it at the beginning of every book.
I know, just the first one. Yeah. Okay, fine. But we have a bunch of people, like it's just cramped with all these people of different various colors. And it also says identified only by the, I don't know if I say this right, but it's heraldry embroidered on a crossbody sashes. So that's like the coat of arms.
Yeah.
So basically these are all people from different provinces, basically, representing or whatever, right?
That's right.
And it says our own provinces are easy to recognize. And I even spot Breivik's as heads begin to turn direction. So they're basically walking into an area that's full of people from other provinces. That's what it's basically saying, right? Garrick had mentioned that, like she seems pretty calm, that she's going to be facing the highest ranking aristocracy in the kingdom. So we know that these are top people, right?
Yes.
And she's like, yeah, I have a plan, whatever that plan is.
She's asking if he's still going to come with even beyond the wards. So that's the first time we've actually got it answered that at least Violet's plan is for Xaden to come. Because I was like, well, he can't stay because what about Sigale? But he can't come because like leaving the ward seems really stupid.
Right.
But this is the answer, that he does plan on coming.
Right.
Which I'm like, okay, it's like good and bad, because like it is scary to think about him leaving the wards and being with her. But it's also like we're gonna really have like another Xaden free book, basically, like, or like a big portion of it without Xaden again would be really annoying too.
Yeah, that would be. I know. Well, we know that she's going in to see the Cenarium. Garrick's like a little bit like we shouldn't do this maybe because we haven't really been pardoned for leaving Pisgaiath and taking a whole bunch of the riot with us.
Yeah.
And he also says Brennan might be sitting in on the treaty negotiations on behalf of Orisha, but we don't have a seat on the council. So he's like worried about that. And she's like, don't worry, they need me alive for Darda's sake. If not Terran's, I'll be fine. And Xaden's like, yeah, she also has Llewellyn in there representing Tyrrendor. We all know who Llewellyn is, right?
Yeah, it says right here he's the representative from Tyrrendor.
Yeah. And the one who helped raise Xaden.
And Liam.
I can't really say raise. He was already raised, but like
he helped assign them to the family or something.
But wasn't Xaden also like already, like, I don't know, 15 or 16 at that time? So
yeah.
Not much of a raising, but still he did something with the whole like adoptive parents,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know that he is on the rebellion side. He's just less publicly so. So he was allowed to, after the rebellion happened, he was allowed to take over from Xaden's father.
Exactly. Okay, good. Yeah. So that's Llewellyn. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, there's another one. There's like 2, I thought. Maybe there's just 2 names for Llewellyn. I don't know. I always get confused.
Yeah, there is someone else, I thought.
The Earl of something, right? Or is that the Earl of Llewellyn? Sometimes it's like remembering all these people. I need to write like a little... Okay, but Llewellyn, I'm pretty sure, is exactly what you said. So let's just keep going with that idea and we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, good. She gets called in, says the Cenarium's ready to meet with you alone. And Xaden's like, I'll be right out here. Totally stopped by these wooden doors and hang an inch off the ground where my shadows can go right underneath it, sure.
Yeah.
Xaden says to her, I have every faith in your ability to protect yourself, but say the word and I'll rip the doors off their hinges. And she's like, you're such a romantic. There's 6 nobles sitting along this like long length of like long table, and they're facing her basically, and they're representing each of Navarre's 6 provinces.
Nice.
It says she says that she knows them all thanks to her mother, but only the one on the far left offers me a tired smile, and that's Llewellyn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Duchess of Moraine, and Moraine is the province that I think isn't Basgiath in Lorraine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, was
No.
Llewellyn on the map before? It was. Oh, that's so interesting. That's not a town then.
No, because he's the Earl of Llewellyn. Maybe that's where I'm getting confused because that's
Oh, because that's not his
and
name.
they just call him that because a lot of times they do that, like
That makes way more
yeah.
sense.
So I feel like somewhere we're gonna hear his first name, and that's what I'm getting confused when I'm
Yeah.
thinking there's two
I think
people. It's
we
just the
had
same
once.
person. Yeah, same person, but he's the Earl of Llewellyn.
Because I think when we heard the name of who raised Xaden and Liam, or who fostered them,
Yeah.
and then we heard it was Llewellyn,
I think we got confused about that.
I was like, wait, I thought it was this other
Yeah.
person.
No, I think
And then I
so.
also was wondering why I recognized the name Llewellyn, and I was like, was it someone, did we already know someone named Llewellyn? Why did I recognize the name? Well, it's been on the map.
Oh yeah, but also you thought maybe it was because of Luella, the
Maybe,
writer. That
yeah, I
died
did think
too.
that, but
Yeah.
also
It's on the map.
It's on the
Yeah.
map. That's probably where I recognize it from as well. So.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So the Duchess of Moraine is like, let's make this quick. We have 3 days to save these negotiations, and we need every hour of it. And then the Duke of Chaldeer says, we've been briefed by General Melgren and confirmed with the king. As of this moment, you will be assigned to, what do you call it? As he glances to Melgren, and Melgren's like, a task force. And they're like, a task force, which will embark on a quest to find and recruit the 7th dragon breed with an aim to increase our numbers and hopefully provide insight into killing the venom. And Violet pulls out this list and says, should we agree to participate? This is a list of Indarna's demands. The Duchess of Elsam raises her eyebrows, and the Duke of Lucerys reacts against it. And then the Duchess of Moraine's like, you are not in a place to make demands. While we owe your mother a debt of gratitude, you are still considered a deserter. Violet says, a deserter who saved this college, our wards, and our kingdom, not to mention took on multiple venom within these walls a few hours ago, all of which I've done without falling under a Navarian chain of command. Makes it hard to assign me to anything as none of you commands the Orician riot. And they're not my demands, they're hers.
Right, but so she just straight up says the Orician riot to all these dukes and duchesses, so I guess it's fully not a secret
Everything's
anymore.
not a secret anymore.
Yeah.
They do mention earlier that they're working out the Orisha.
Yeah, but they were all saying that when they were only with each other or
Yeah.
or when she was just thinking about it. But here she's
It's
saying
all open.
the Orician riot. So I'm like, okay. So to be clear, they all know now.
There's no secrets anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Melgren's like, the return of our riot is still a matter in negotiation. So they're still negotiating that. And they mentioned earlier that Brennan is there negotiating it. So that means also Brennan being alive is not a secret.
Oh yeah, great point. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that was a secret once he was battling.
Oh, that's true. Once his mom also saw him too.
Yeah.
So, but he's basically saying this assignment is being made in good faith with the understanding that the right will remain in Basgiath.
Uh-huh.
And then he says, Llewellyn, seeing as you've secretly represented Orisha for years, which is a separate issue this council has yet to address, perhaps you'd be willing to read her demands. So that was a little basically trying to put him down or whatever, but whatever.
Yeah.
He gets the demands, he reads them, he kind of smiles a little bit and says, these are unique.
I know.
And
I
then-
want to know what they are. This is so annoying.
I know, well, we get some of them.
Kinda.
Yeah. She starts out with, I will take 6 riders, and then Melgren's like, you will take no one. You are a second-year cadet who will only be allowed to participate because we need a dragon. It has already been decided that Captain Grady, remember him?
Yep, the RSC.
Will lead the task force due largely to his experience behind enemy lines. And she's like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. I had Mira's name inked at the top, right?
Right, which I guessed that. I said maybe Mira's, when she said, I'm not going to be the leader, I'm just choosing leader. And I was like, maybe Mira? It was Mira.
Yep.
Also, she seems really, upset about this, but he wasn't that, it's not like he's, a super bad guy.
Yeah.
I get that I don't really understand exactly what she needs or what she's looking for in this task force, so maybe he is the worst possible person, but I'm like, it could be worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It could have. There are probably people we can think of.
Yeah, it's like, you know what?
It's like
Dane's
Professor
dad's
Carr.
coming with you. Yeah, Professor Carr's
and General Ados.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. They're saying that once they've settled the Promish alliance, which they had certain days to settle, right?
Yeah, they have 3 more days left.
Yeah, then he'll get with her. and tell him about his choosing. So she gets upset about the his choosing thing. And she's like, which will at least include Lieutenant Ryerson, correct? But they're like, yeah, well, it's up to him. And she's like, yeah, no, Taryn and Sigale can't be separated.
Yeah, and then Melgren's just like rage baiting her basically.
I know. He's
like not gonna give her anything.
No, and he knows better.
Which would suggest that Ryerson will be among his selections, but again, it's
up to him, yeah.
So he's just like, yeah, not giving her an inch here.
So apparently it's one of the Andarna's demands that she can determine the members, and he basically just flat out says it won't be met. It's a non-negotiable military operation, not a class field trip.
Which, like, I don't like Melgren, but, like, I do see his point here, like, a little bit. He's like, this is
not a squad battle, okay?
Yeah. He's like, no, you can't lead a group to go do this. You're a second-year cadet. No, you can't decide who's gonna be there. You're a second-year cadet. Like,
how hard is this?
But at the same time, it's like, Andarna.
I mean, yes. It is actually very logical that he's like, yeah, no, we are going to actually put people who are, very experienced.
Yeah.
However, he could take a page out of Dumbledore's book, because Dumbledore just let 3 11-year-olds, get down into the, what's it called? The sorcerers. Yeah, for sure. He's like, they got it. I've seen Ron play chess.
I've seen Ron play chess.
He's smart. I don't know. Maybe he needs to lean into that a little bit.
Yeah. Also, I feel like he should just read the list of demands, because maybe if he read it, he would be like, oh, I understand why this might be important.
Good point. He doesn't even read it at all. He just has the other guy read it, and then they don't even say. He just says, these are unusual, and that's it?
Yeah.
That's really funny. I didn't think about that. Okay. So Taryn's like, we won't go, and Darna's like, we have to go, and then Violet's like, yeah, she's right, we have to go every possible path.
Bluffing. And then if they say no, you just go anyways, because you break the rules and start your own rebellion.
Right? Isn't that what we do here?
Isn't that what we do? Like, you've already said that they don't control you, so if they say, fine, then we're gonna make our own task force and you guys can't come, you go, fine, that's completely fine with me, have fun, good luck. And then you sneak off before the negotiations are done so that you're technically not even under their command still.
100%.
It doesn't seem that hard.
No, right? Okay. So then the Duke of Caldera is like, shall we consider this matter settled? And she's like, absolutely the fuck not, in her head. But then she's like, only if you meet the rest of Andarna's demands. I think both she and Taryn have shown they're more than willing to walk, if not fly, away from Bisgayeth. Okay. And then Melgren's like, well, we will consider approving her other requests. So,
yeah.
And they're saying, like, that's it, basically. There's a little talk here about, like, at least have the Flyers enter the quadrant, like, to help with this whole thing with the Promish alliance and stuff. But they seem to be concerned about the fact they can't wield to protect themselves.
So they're just worried that, I guess, they're just going to get killed instantly. And then that would cause, like,
maybe a war with Promiel. Yeah. Yeah, so that's, like, one of the Promiel's arguments about that. Right?
Yeah.
And then Llewellyn says, I'll walk you out. And he's walking out. And he says, I'll work on these. In the meantime, I was asked to give you this privately. And then he hands her a palm-sized missive. And she departs. She looks at it and recognizes Takaris's handwriting. And it says, you have 3 days to hold up to your end of the bargain.
Right. And I'm like, oh, we don't know about a bargain.
That's right. We don't.
What bargain?
Yeah.
Does it have to do with the Flyers? Probably. So because 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days. It's the same with that agreement, right?
Yeah.
She's like, fuck, that's not an option. I look up and find every member.
That's not an option. Like, it's not an option to hold up to her end of the bargain?
I don't know.
That's what it sounds like, right? So it sounds like she made a bargain that she knows she can't keep? Or, like, what?
Yeah, that is a weird line.
That's not an option.
That's not an option. What's another thing?
Maybe it means failing. Like, failing is an option?
Yeah. Because then later, that's kind of what I read it
at the end of this part of the chapter, it says, which means the one I'm holding in my hand can't fail. So she has a plan regarding the note in her hand that can't fail. So that's not an option means, I guess.
Okay, good. So she sees her squad, and then Imogen's asks how it go, and she looks around, and then she locks eyes with Xaden and says the plan went to shit, which means the one I'm holding in my hand can't fail. So is there something more than just a note from him?
No, I think
a palm-sized.
The plan went to shit, which means the plan
that she's
I'm holding in my hand can't fail.
Yeah.
And the plan must be related to this bargain.
Well, he said, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I'm kind of getting that too.
Yeah, it was a little confusing. I noted both those lines as being like, what?
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 Yeah. So, page break. It is morning. She blinks awake and realizes that she actually slept in.
Yeah.
She says maybe it was hitting the gym last night with Imogen or the emotional letdown after venting with Rhiannon and Tara about why Grady was the worst possible choice to lead. So, for some reason, she thinks he's the worst choice to lead in Darna's mission. But I didn't wake once, thank gods. I must have drifted off after settling into bed with the book on Navarian imports, predating the trade agreement of Resson, which is funny because they're bringing up this trade agreement that you brought up in the first book is like, this is important. And I don't think we heard of again. And suddenly she's reading about it again. Just saying. Here, come back around.
Let's come back around.
Yeah, because it says Justinia tossed it to her as she's shown up to visit Sawyer.
Oh, so it could be very important.
I know, it's just funny that we haven't heard about it since then, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's basically, it looks like she fell asleep while doing it, and she sees that Xaden's daggers are, like, marking the spot.
That's
so, like,
cute.
he must have, like, put his dagger in there, closed the book while she's, you know, drooling on her bed, you know? Anyways. So he's also sleeping. They're both sleeping in. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Look, right here. Guess I'd been asleep by the time he made it to bed after his daily meeting with Brennan, Llewellyn, and as of yesterday afternoon, Duke Lindell, who fostered Xaden and Liam.
Right?
I knew there was a second person. I get so confused between these two. These are two different people.
Yeah. But we know that Llewellyn had something to do with their fostering.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't directly, I guess.
Yeah, because there is some line somewhere and it could be later and it doesn't matter.
No,
if I
I
say
think
this.
it was.
Was it
last
earlier where it
book.
says something about the two men that practically raised us? Yeah.
I think it was last book.
Okay. So Duke Lindell, whoever that is, because I feel like we only know Llewellyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Duke Lindell, when they went to that, Liam and her went to that, I don't know what that one, it wasn't a dance, but I always think of it as a ball, but whatever it was, and she meets the king, and then Liam says, yes, I was raised by Duke Lindell, and then the king's like, oh yes, a very loyal man, or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. See if I can remember this. Duke Lindell fostered Xaden and Liam. Llewellyn
Did something.
did something.
Help train
Okay, good.
them,
Help.
maybe?
Yeah, and also was like, obviously, like, you know, took the place of running Tyrrendor,
Yeah.
but as a secret rebellion,
Yes.
as opposed to an outward one. Yeah. Okay, good. So, fine. We'll see if we can remember that. She's just staring at Xaden's face and thinking about how beautiful he is. She's like sitting up and he like sweeps her hair aside and starts kissing her neck.
Right. Well, she does get out of bed and starts brushing her hair, actually. And I wondered about her hair being down, if that was part of what made him lose control
He
here.
was just like, there it is.
She's like brushing her long, luscious locks of silvery hair.
No, yeah, she's not out of bed. She's just sitting on the edge of bed, but that's okay.
Yeah, but she is brushing her hair.
Yeah. She's brushing her hair, sitting on the edge of the bed.
Right.
Anyways, so we get this moment where we think it looks like he's going to give in and have sex with her, right?
Right, but not really.
Not really. You know, they do start making out. A little bit of cute, like, back and forth. He says mine. She says mine. She says, I love you so much that it hurts. And he says, good, because that's exactly how I love you, too. And he's just kind of caressing her and all this stuff. He's, like, just about to get her there, right?
She definitely does her power definitely does flare out.
Yeah.
And then the shadows flood the space.
Right. And she feels like he's, like, fighting it. She doesn't really get... Right now, she's just in the pleasure, and she doesn't really get why he seems to be holding himself back.
I catch the scent of burning wood, and then Xaden whips his hands to the headboard, and then all of a sudden he looks tortured, like he's in pain.
Yeah, okay. Fine. He does get her off.
Yeah.
Good for her. But it doesn't end in a great thing because she's like, what the heck, Xaden? And he's like, don't. She's like, what's happening? He's like, I need space. She's like, okay.
Yeah, and I was
she,
like, oh my
tries to
gosh,
move away.
did he accidentally channel?
Oh, so you picked that up.
The second it said he looks like he's in unbearable pain, that's
Yeah.
actually where I picked it up, because I was just waiting
Well, he
for
was
something bad to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, as we get close to the end of the chapter, I'm always waiting for
There's something bad to happen. Yeah. He says, I forgot. I woke up and saw you sitting there, and it was the most natural thing in the world to reach for you, but I'm not natural anymore. Fuck, I'm so sorry, Violet. And she's like, you have nothing to apologize for.
Like, nothing
You know,
happened.
you just did us both a favor. Nothing bad happened. You just had your hands all over me. It's all fine, you know? And he says, no, it's not fine. And then he gestures to the headboard. And apparently she has to kind of lean in a little bit. It's like not very obvious, but there is 2 faint marks of discoloration. So he did just
barely
channel.
a shade
Barely.
lighter than the original stain. Right, so it's like, okay, he did, but only like a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Just like a tiny bit.
Yeah. It isn't a lot, but I think that the scare of him knowing that he could in that moment lose control
On accident.
Yeah,
I know.
is enough.
Like, who doesn't want teeny tiny gray fingerprints all over them permanently?
They're cute.
You can make a design on her back with them. Wait, no, she has her tattoo on her back. On her leg with them.
No. Let's not leave any fingerprints on Violet, please. So we end the chapter with this, like, we don't know. Did he channel? I mean, he obviously did. What's that mean?
Yeah.
Does it make his eyes red? Who knows? But
oh yeah,
right. We don't know at that point. It just literally ends with, did he just channel?
Yeah.
Although there's no comment about him having red eyes, but still.
That's true.
Yeah. So we don't really know at this point, like, what's going to happen with this mission, what's going to happen with the Promial agreement, and also what is this deal that she made with Takaris?
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's something that Xaden doesn't know about.
Yeah.
And it does have to do with what Mira's up to.
Especially with his, like, he's like, didn't he say he was like closing his whatever channels to her so that he doesn't like pick up anything or something?
Yeah, because he's scared of being the leak.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whatever Mira's up to, yeah.
Whatever Mira's up to.
Cool.
Something has to do with the Flyers and has to do with Indarna somehow.
Yeah. So we get less left in the middle of this. Who knows what's going on?
Who knows? But I really hope that they do sneak off with their own people, because I don't care about Professor Grady.
Right?
And I don't particularly want him to lead this mission.
Yeah, I know.
So we better figure out something else.
Okay, good. I like it. All right, so thanks for listening.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram and Threads at First Wing Pod. It's a great place to reach Kendra, mostly. And get updates about our podcast and stuff like that. We also have a Discord, which you can find in the description of our episodes. And that's an even better place to get updates on our podcast. You can find the live recording of me reading the end of Iron Flame.
Yep.
Which is posted there. It's like a 2-minute clip. We changed it up a little bit. So if you are just starting the podcast, which I guess you wouldn't be on this episode, but if you know stuff, if you recommend this podcast to someone and they're just starting and they've only read the first book, they could go to their channel that's only going to cover Fourth Wing stuff, and then Iron Flame will be its own channel. And then there's a channel that's caught up to exactly where I'm at, and then there's a spoiler discussion.
All spoiler, everything spoiler.
Everything's a spoiler, yeah.
So
hopefully that helps new listeners, old listeners.
Again, we're talking about this to people who have possibly made it this far, so probably not really whatever, but hopefully the people, anybody new will go take a look and see that.
Yeah. But again, when you recommend this podcast to your friends and family,
tell them about our Discord.
Yeah, they can know they can have spoiler-free discussions in there.
Yes, it's safe. Okay, good. Also, as you know, if you rate and review we want you all to rate our podcast on whatever you're on that can rate.
Yes.
And we would love you to review it if you're on something that can review. And even if you're not, you can always go to Audible, apparently, and review us. You can go to Apple Podcasts and review us, right?
Yeah.
But we have more reviews to read.
Yes, we do.
We're going to read the next one now. This one is from the mother of Yeti.
Yeah.
And it says, "Oh no, I've caught up. Now what do I do? I really admire the work y'all are doing to connect all the dots and theories. Kendra is astounding at not swaying theories as they arise and asks great thinking questions. I am hoping to try rereading along with Brianna for Onyx Storm to see if I notice all the details you both have."
Love that.
Nice.
I hope that reread is going well for you. Hopefully when it gets intense, you can still go along the 2 chapters.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll get super hard there, but it's going to be great.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because you'd have to stop the 2 chapters and listen to about an hour of us talking about it.
And then wait a week.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I started rereading it. I started reading just the chapters and then decided to reread the whole thing. So I also did a bad job. But then I also got to a point near the end of the book and then decided I didn't want to finish it yet. So, so now I'm Yeah, haven't finished it, but that's okay.
Well, I'm having an easier time than normal because I'm reading Twilight in between the chapters, which, as anyone who's read Twilight knows, very hard to put down.
Yes.
So I read this and I'm like, this is good, this is good. Let's pick up Twilight again.
That's funny.
I will say that, like, Fourth Wing, the first book specifically, did give me that same sort of feeling more strongly than these other two.
Yeah.
Of, like, really hard to put it down. And I'm sure that's just, like, as the story progresses, there are going to be more intense and less intense books. But,
yeah, no, I think Fourth Wing, the first book, was definitely by far the one that was the most, like you said, hard to put down. It was a very, it was a very well-written book, and it really got you into it, for sure.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Iron Flame, like, it just hit this middle-ish part right before they escape to Orisha, where it's just like, what is going on in this book?
Yeah.
And, like, it's purposeful. Once you finish the book, you can see how purposeful that was to, like, lull you into, like, no, we're just doing this, I guess, just right before the big thing, when they run off to Orisha. So there's, like, that slightly boring bit, and then it gets really interesting again.
Yeah, I forgot how long it took to get to the point where they went to Orisha. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much farther in the book than I thought.
It is, like,
and I was so impatient. I was like, I mean, you were impatient. You're like, they can't just stay here.
They can't just stay here. This is ridiculous.
So, yeah, and then this book has a whole nother vibe. So you're gonna see, because I shouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Also, just to say, because I'm not sure, I guess it's coming up very soon. But I may have mentioned this before, but Brianna and I are going to be at Tampa Bay Comic-Con. And we are going to be doing a Twilight panel where we will be discussing the hot takes and unpopular opinions.
Yes, right.
About Twilight. So that's why you're hearing Twilight references, because we are absorbing ourselves a little bit into that fandom.
Yeah.
And then once
later, which is terrible, because I had to drag myself out of that fandom like one nail at a time. And I'm just right back into it.
Yeah, I know. We're throwing you back in. But we're having a lot of fun, so we'll be a little bit on that train until it's over, and maybe a little bit afterwards, and then maybe you'll stop getting those references.
Yeah, but you know, for people who enjoy Twilight, and you live close-ish to Tampa, come see us.
Yeah, totally.
Or if you hate Twilight, that's also an okay thing to do.
Yeah, totally. Because we are going to hit all those, unpopular opinions, and it could be I hate Twilight.
Yeah, that could be part of the unpopular opinions.
Might be an uncomfortable place to give that opinion. We'll see. Anyways, so next episode we will cover chapters 4 and 5.
Yes. Join us next time, writers.
Bye.
Bye.